tell you guys something. Is anybody pretty new in real estate here on the call? Just out of curiosity. I say if you're less than 5 years, you're pretty new. Anybody pretty new? Uh-oh,
Yes.
my dog is in protector mode, but he's a doodle, so he won't hurt anybody. Sorry if you hear him barking. Okay. And by the way, if I can see your face, thank you so much. I think your names are cool, but talking to a bunch of names is so weird to me. Um, but so thanks if I can see your face. I appreciate. Oh, I raised my hand, but I didn't mean to. Um, all right. So the reason I say that is because Amanda, I don't know if you know this, and this isn't, I hope I'm not sending a bad juju vibe out there. It took me 7 times to pass the real estate exam. That's crazy. And also my school, it expires. Does it expire out there? It's only good for a year. So it took me so long, I had to go back to school. So I went to real estate school twice and it took me 7 times. My point is that if you can take the real estate exam 7 times, you can ace what we're going to talk about today. This is about being having grit and having some wherewithal. So I got asked to talk about, Destiny asked me to come talk about scripts, right? So I'm not going to do scripts practice with you, but I do want to talk about some framework. Was anybody on Debbie's call yesterday? Yeah, okay. It's crazy because Debbie and I have not talked about this, but we have a very similar philosophy. And so I want to talk about Ben's real estate success principles. He has three. Does anybody know what they are?
Say the right thing,
That's
say
right,
it enough
Hillary.
times, and say it to the right people,
That's
or
right. That's
something like that.
exactly it. It's say the right thing, which is basically scripts. It's say it enough times, which is really follow up, in my opinion. And then say it to enough people, which is talk to a lot of people, right? And so I'm going to focus on the first one because I think sometimes as real estate agents, we really underestimate the power of scripts practice. So there's 3 ways to truly dial this in, and all of them are totally within your control. I know that as we go through agent launch, we are given a role play partner or we're asked to get a role play partner. Are you going to handle the waiting rooms, Destiny? Cool. I love how you spell your destiny, by the way. And so I want you to know that when we get a role play partner, I think they're great, but are they always reliable? No, they're real estate agents. Like that's what we do. We are not always reliable, which is nuts to me. If it was $1 million listing appointment, I bet we'd show up. Right. But we're not always reliable. And so, what I didn't want to do when I was a young thing, I was 18 when I finally did get my license. I did not want to wait for somebody else to show up for me to get good at my job. Right. And if you're new in the business and you probably just don't know what to say, you don't know the language of sales. And so you just have to kind of submit to the fact that until you know a script, you're just going to sound like a robot. Right. And the reason you sound like a robot is because you haven't internalized it. So I want to play a little bit of a game. We are going to do a little role play, but I'll do all the hard stuff. Okay. I just need you to respond. All right. Here we go. Ready? When I say thank you, what do you say back?
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. Welcome.
That's
My
a
pleasure.
script. That's a script, by the way. My pleasure. You're welcome. You got, that's all a script. Somebody taught that to you as probably a parent, right? And I'm not mad about it. When I say thank you and you say you're welcome, I'm like, of course, right? If you didn't say you're welcome, I'd be like, wow, Hillary has no manners. Ugh, who raised that savage? My point is that sometimes the scripts we learn are actually tied to like our manners, it's tied to how we were raised. And in real estate, it's exactly the same. So when you tell me you don't want to say these words or use these scripts, what you're telling me is you want to be completely out of control and totally out of alignment, and you want to be rude in real estate. Or you really want to just take the hard road, which is fine. You can do it. But most people that take the really hard road in real estate don't last long enough because this business will chew you up and spit you out. So back to scripts practice. You got to do it. And here's some of the best ways to do it. There's 3 ways to really get good at your job. It's so freaking easy. Most of you will never do it. And it's so freaking easy that if you did, your world would be drastically different in 6 months from now. But we underestimate what the compound effect is, right? Have y'all read that book, The Compound Effect? I see some of you, Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. For those of you that don't like to read, which is wild, It's a very small book. It's actually small, and then it's actually really small. You could probably read it if you don't like to read in what, 4 or 5 days? And if you do like to read, you could read it in a day. Read the book The Compound Effect and apply it to everything in your life, and you will have a different life in 6 months. So here's the 3 ways we're going to get better at doing our job. Number one is called scripts practice. Now, Amy, I'm sorry you've heard this before, but let's pretend. I don't love that I'm big on the screen. I like seeing your faces better, but this will work. Let's pretend that we all auditioned for a play, a musical, perhaps. You're all into Wicked right now, like me. Have you all seen it like 8 times? Perfect. So we all auditioned for Wicked. And oh, look, Amy, thank you. We auditioned for Wicked and we all get a part. Okay. Pick whoever you want to be, but we're all stars in the show. And the director hands us something, hands us this, and says, okay, I'll see you back here in 4 weeks. What is this? Not this specifically. This is our script
The
book.
script.
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you for participating.
You're
This is our
welcome.
script book. It's all of our lines, right? Okay, awesome. So we go back to our 200 square foot apartments in New York City because we're making it big on Broadway. And it's 4 weeks later, and we come back, and it's me and Amy and Hillary on stage doing our parts. Only I'm like, this is me. I'm like, what was my line again? And Amy's like, la, 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 and Hillary's like, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, sorry, I didn't get this far. What am I supposed to say? This goes on for 20 minutes. What did the other castmates and the director and everybody in the audience start to think about me? There's not a real
You didn't
audience.
take it seriously.
I didn't take it seriously. What else?
You're a bad actor.
Bad actor. Thank you. What else? I'm getting paid to do this, remember? What else are they going to say?
You don't
You
really
might not
care.
keep your job.
What'd you say, Hillary?
But you might not keep your job.
Ooh, how did she get this job? Someone said, what did somebody else say? You're not very good at your job?
Real estate agents get paid too much. They don't even do anything.
Well, hold on. We're still at the Broadway musical, right?
I mean, Brenda,
They might say that in the audience if they're selling a home in the moment, but you might start to think I'm unprofessional,
Mhm.
lazy. Thank you. What is she doing here? Who did she sleep with to get here? Who does she think she is? Right? And I say that because the truth is that if I showed up unprepared like that to role play, which some of you think role play is scripts practice, by the way, you show up to role play to run your lines with your castmates, but you've never read the damn script. And so when I show up like that as a castmate or a teammate, I'm now hurting my other castmates or teammates' ability to hone in their craft. Right? When I can't play the part, Hillary can't get better at working for sell by owners. If I can't play the part, Amy's not going to hear the way that I've developed that character so she can steal that tactic and go get another listing appointment. So scripts practice is a solo activity. Scripts practice takes nobody but yourself. And if all you did for the next 8 years of your career was practice your scripts and the rest of your career, you would have a different career. But some of you will underestimate the power of doing that. And so I think Debbie said it yesterday, right? The easiest way to do it is you got to block 30 minutes every morning. And by the way, if something new happens in the industry and you've got to learn a new skill set, you got to crank it up to 30 minutes every morning until you're on it. I'm a new agent. Guess what I read every day? I did this for 8 years. I read my purchase agreement every day for 8 years. Do you think that was boring as shit? It was so boring, but I'm telling you guys, I know it. I read the stupid listing agreement. These are not scripts, Julie, right? But they're tools that built confidence that made me better on the phone. They're tools that built confidence that made me, I really knew a contract. It was the only way I could beat someone who had been in the business for 20 years, right? I just had that confidence. So I need you guys to go get that confidence, right? So scripts practice is a solo activity. And here's how it works. Are you ready? Chris is ready. You pick a script. LP Mama, a door knocking script, your open house greeting script, your SOI script. Just pick one. but we're going to say LP Mama today. Has everybody here seen LP Mama? Yeah. If you were to read LP Mama out loud as fast as you could, how long would it take you to read that whole script?
Not like under a minute.
Under a minute. So let's say we're a little slow and it's our first time. It takes me a minute to read that script. It is not a hard script. And I said, I'm going to do what Julie said. I'm going to do something weird and crazy. I'm going to do this every day for 30 minutes, Monday through Friday. And I'm going to read the LP Mama script out loud as fast as I can. So I hear it, see it, say it. Hear it, see it, say it. Hear it, see it, say it. I do that every day, 30 times in the morning, because that's 30 minutes. You follow me? Now I've read the script probably more in one day than I maybe have in my whole career. And I'm not practicing on a person, which is awesome. You guys think scripts don't work when you practice on people, by the way. And you think scripts don't sound like you when you use them on people. But when you practice them and they just become a part of who you are. Did Debbie sound like she was scripting the shit out of us yesterday? If Debbie was my realtor and she was saying, well, and yet, and all those wonderful, like the way I've just been like, man, she really cares. That's what scripts do when you know them. Right? Did I watch Ariana Grande and be like, you're not really Galinda? No, she knew the lines. I was like, she's like the Galinda. My husband's laughing. So I'm going to read it out loud as fast as I can. I commit to 30 minutes a day, the most boring 30 minutes of my life. I tell you that on average, I yawn 2 to 3 times in the middle of this exercise. I think it's just like a lack of air, but I'm reading so fast and I'm hearing, I'm seeing, I'm saying, I'm hearing, I'm seeing. LP Mama script 30 times every morning. There are 22 work days in a year. I mean, in a week. I mean, in a month. It is 7 a.m. for me. Give me a break. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but this is a script. I've said this before. There are 22 work days in a month. So if I read a script 22 times, 22 days, 30 times, how many times in a month will I read LP Mama? Who's good at math? Nobody. Thank you,
660.
Michelle. That's right. It's 660 times. Could you imagine reading a script 660 times in a month and then not knowing it? You underestimate what you can do in 30 days. If you did LP Mama, your buyer conversion would change. Your fun on the phone would change. You'd actually might have fun on the phone. Suddenly, these leads that come into Brivity wouldn't suck because you'd know what to do. And if you could just get one victory using a script you didn't know you knew because you've said it so many times, you would be sold out. But most of you, I hate to say it, you just don't have the willpower. You just don't have the strength to push through the boring shit so you can cash checks. Can I talk like that in the Midwest? Good, because we do.
100%.
Thank you. So scripts practice is a solo activity. When I was a kid, 25 years ago in real estate, I hate to talk like a dinosaur, but I am now. Nobody gave a shit if I was good at my job or not, and nobody showed up to role play with me. So I just did it by myself. And it is truly the only reason that I can actually be here in the Zoom room with you today. None of you guys would want to hear from me if I didn't know what to say and how to say and when to say it. That's just the truth, right? Scripts practice changed my life. I would probably be a cocktail waitress on the Las Vegas Strip right now if it wasn't for it. And I say that with confidence, or waiting tables somewhere. And by the way, that's a great living out here. I just don't want that for my life. I like my feet. You know what I mean? Those girls walk around in heels all day. I can't do that. All right. So scripts practice. Number 2, after scripts practice, you've got role play, which many of you, like I said, have confused role play with scripts practice. Role play is now when I show up either with a role play partner and I treat it like $1 million appointment, because the truth is, if I nail it there, $1 million appointments are actually in my future, right? I show up, I know my lines, I have a plan, and my goal is to help Hillary get better, and Hillary's going to help me get better, right? Role play is not like you going to the movie and watching the 2 people that love to role play for 30 minutes. It is an active activity, right? So I like to role play. Do you know why I like to role play? Because I know my shit. You know why Debbie likes to role play? Because she knows her shit. And unfortunately, people like to watch that. So in our world, you can't come to role play and sit on the sidelines. You must participate. It's scary. It's supposed to be. But how are you going to get better if you don't do your role play? Did anybody here play sports in high school? A couple of you did. Awesome. When you were playing sports, did you go to practice? Yeah, you probably did. And did somebody give you guidance as you were swinging the bat or throwing the ball or kicking the ball or whatever it was you were doing? Yeah, and you weren't like, oh my God, I'm never going to kick the ball again in soccer. You were like, well, I guess I better do it better next time. That's all role play is. We're in the sport of business, and some of you don't come to practice. And then you wonder why you've never won a game. Right? Now, in our Broadway musical example, role play would be showing up to the rehearsals, right? Rehearsal is a lot more fun, and I can gain respect, and I can develop my character and get better at the job when everybody is prepared. All right, and then there's number 3. For those of us who did play high school sports, I actually did, but nobody believes it was a sport. I did color guard. Okay, so, but we had to watch. Did anybody watch game footage? Football players, you guys would go in on Sundays or Saturdays. You'd all get your Taco Bell and your whatever. Do you guys have Taco Bell? Oh my God, good. I love Taco Bell. It's like a guilty pleasure. Don't tell my husband. Like I eat it in the car and I don't tell anybody, you know? And then my car.
Have you ever had Taco John's?
No.
You try Taco John's.
Well, we don't
Now
have that on
that's-
the East Coast.
Well, whenever you can try it, it's
Taco John's?
amazing.
No, Eric's never heard of it either. Okay, so thank you. It sounds Taco John sounds like taco, like where you go after you eat too many tacos. No, I'm eating the John. Okay, so we've all watched some game footage, right? Chris, I think Chris raised his hand. Did you watch game footage on Saturday? If you were ever a dancer, you watched your show, you watched your rehearsals. If you're on TikTok, you're watching everybody else's rehearsals now. The point is that as a high school kid, you would literally give away a whole day off to go sit with your teammates and watch how you played the football game on Friday night. And nobody was making it to the NFL, no offense. None of us were going to the NBA. We're all realtors, right? For the most part, occasionally we get like a retired NBA player, right? Is that what they're called? NBA? Baseball? Anyways, the point here is that we would go spend a weekend watching game footage for a fucking sport that we played as a 17-year-old and made $0. So the next level of increase, like this is the super hack. You got to role play, you got to script practice, role play. The next one is called real play, which is where Hillary does something nuts. She doesn't break the law, but she does something nuts. Although I think Hillary would. You take your phone. Everybody got one of these? Do you guys know Grant Rothberg in Houston? His daughter drew me this picture and I made it my background. It's a cat that's flying, and on one side there's a devil cloud and on the other side there's an angel cloud. Like, does she know me or what? Okay, so you record yourself at the meeting. I'm going to go meet with a seller. Before I hop in, back in the old days, we used to carry like a recorder, like with a tape in it, and then we got like digital recorders, and now we have cell phones. So I just press record. Sometimes the recording turns out, sometimes it doesn't, but I record myself on an actual appointment. Or I can record myself during role play and then I watch it back and I cringe and it's embarrassing and I hate the sound of my voice. And you go through all of that stuff. It is the hardest thing to listen to a call. Listen to yourself on the phone. The things you think you're saying, the things you're practicing, and the things you're role playing, and then the way you show up in the game are sometimes different. And the only way to know that is to watch yourself run the play, game footage. That is the absolute fastest way to have fun playing this game, which is the game of real estate, right? Or in the Broadway world, some of you don't learn your lines. You don't do a good job at rehearsal. You do opening night and you get pissed off at the audience for not giving you a standing ovation. Mm-hmm. Literally, some of us are, and then we blame the scripts. Well, you don't sound like the scripts. You sound like shit. You sound like somebody who doesn't care if their clients cross the finish line or not. You sound like somebody who doesn't care about all the people in your life who know you're doing this really crazy thing and they are supporting you through it. It's crazy to go not get a paycheck. You guys know that, right? And this is the easiest thing on the planet to do. Practicing your scripts is the easiest thing you will do in real estate, and most of you will not, and it will have the biggest impact if you do. All right, I'm going to get off my high horse and my soapbox, and I'm going to see if y'all have any questions.
It's not really a question, but it's something that you said earlier, and it clicks a lot because when practicing scripts, or especially when you're talking about the contract, that the confidence behind the contract is the easiest way to get the contract signed. Because if you know what you're asking for, you know what you're providing. I think the confidence is key. And so once you have those scripts set down, your clients can tell, and the people you're talking to can tell when you're confident. So I think that's really where your scripts really come in.
I love that you said that. I've heard people say I'm trying real estate. Have any of you ever said that? I'm trying real estate.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's for people that don't practice. I'm not trying real estate. I am real estate.
Mhm.
Like you can't think of Julie or Hillary or Amy or Tina and not think about real estate. Why is that? We're not trying it. We are it. We did what it took to get where we needed to be so that when people think about us, that's what they think about.
Mhm.
Scripts is one of the best ways to get there.
That's people who are willing to put in the time and the energy to know it rather than just wing it.
Yeah. So
Any
I hope
questions
you
for
guys
Julie?
do this. I hope you all do it. You won't, it's not going to be fun. You'll want to not do it.
Any
But I'm
questions or takeaways?
I love this so much. Thank you so much, Julie. Because it's so true. Because once you internalize the script, then it's just conversation. Because so many times I'll say something and someone on a partner on my team will ask, "What did you just say?" And I have no clue. It's because it's internalized, it's natural. I've practiced it so many times. It's just if A happens, then this is what I say. If B happens, this is what I say. So it's so true.
Yeah, it's like my buyer consultations are the complete thing is a script. I say the exact same thing every single time for the story that I give. And it's the same thing. So
you guys sound so boring. You say the same things all the time. Sounds terrible.
it's fun when I have somebody shadow enough appointments that they start telling the same stories
I know.
that I say. I was like, it works. But all right, any other takeaways or questions for Julie before we hop off for today? All right. Thank you so much, Julie. This was
Amy came off mute and I know she can't help herself.
Oh, I can. I was just in the background. It's okay. I was just about to go back on me. One of the things that I love about how you frame this today, Julie, is like, okay, I feel like every Friday, right? We learn like some kind of new skill that we can practice and put into play. And if the stuff that we say in our appointments and on our phone calls isn't something that just rolls out like you're welcome after thank you, then thinking about adding these like different types of questions or different types of closing techniques is like, what? I need to pull out my note card. You know what I mean? So getting through the reps on the script so the stuff like rolls out of your mouth like you're not even thinking about it gives you a really cool opportunity to practice new skills and level up every week. That's all.
By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there. I still have my scripts in front of me when I'm on the phone. When I do a buyer consultation, I still have my checklist of questions. When I go on a listing appointment, I still pull out my listing appointment checklist and I do it in front of the seller. I am not ashamed. Like the last thing I want to do is forget to bring a lockbox on a listing appointment or forget to talk about, I don't know, comps. Like who knows? You get on a crazy appointment, you're having a good time, and before you know it, you didn't talk about how you communicate through brevity, right? And it's like, man, why would I not use the system I put in place to make sure I follow my scripts? No one has ever said, wow, you're really stupid. I see you're following a checklist. No one's ever said, they're like, oh, wow, you're so thorough. I'm like, absolutely. Of course I am. This is a big deal. That's what you
Mhm.
want, right? And
Yeah.
so, anyways, I'm just saying, guys, y'all think you need to look a certain way and sound a certain way. Just get your script book out, get your checklist out, follow it, and you'll be fine.
Mhm.
All
No.
right.
Thank you
I'll
so much,
see you later.
Julie.
Thank you guys.
And again, Julie's in Vegas if you guys need anything. She is wonderful. And Julie, are you a coach with Forward?
No, I am an integration coach for Place. So I work with all of
Oh,
our teams as they become new teams.
oh, okay. So I'm trying to do a plug for you. So never mind then.
Well, I appreciate that. But Forward is awesome.
Yes. Yes. Anyway,
All right.
thank you, Julie, for your time today.
Bye.
Another plug we have next week, we are talking about day in the life in Brivity, and Lisa Archer is our guest. If you guys have any other questions or want any other topics for Place Power Up, please feel free to message me. And hopefully you guys have found value from the last couple of weeks in these power ups. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you next week.